Here and Now, the program featuring the news and interests of the African American community. Here's your host, Sandra Bookman.
Coming up, building black businesses, entrepreneurs turning personal challenges into successful endeavors. Meet the founder of Camille Rose, the nation's leading black hair care line that started with a home remedy whipped up in the kitchen. We'll introduce you to the registered nurse and breast cancer survivor, helping other women through her chain of local Medi-Spas. Later, how the threat of a life sentence in prison inspired a model turned celebrity makeup artist, now CEO. The former corrections officer who found the recipe for success, baking cookies, and the CEO invested in how you start your day, one healthy spoonful at a time. That's all ahead on Here and Now. While relaxation is the focus of most day spas, Medi-Spas offer services to improve overall health. Vitamin infusions, hormone replacement, and enhanced skin care. Those are just some of the popular treatments. Our next guest, a nurse practitioner, says she's gone from saving lives in the hospital to changing lives at her med spas. Her holistic practice inspired by her own battle with breast cancer. Joining us today is Regina Millig, the owner of Lalit Medi-Spas. So nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you also. Thank you for having me.
You have been one busy lady. Now, you have been a nurse practitioner for more than 2 decades.
Correct.
Talk to us about how you made the transition from working, in a hospital to owning your own Medi-Spas.
Definitely. So it was my personal healthcare journey. I was diagnosed with breast cancer 15 years ago, and at that time I went to hell and back. I had chemo, radiation, surgery. I was beat down, didn't feel good, didn't look good. So after I came back from hell, I asked my oncologist, how do we prevent a recurrence? And he couldn't reassure me that we would prevent a reoccurrence. And I wasn't comfortable with that. I just came back from hell. I'm like, listen, we need to make sure we prevent this. So I started relying on my nursing knowledge and started researching, and I embarked upon glutathione, which is the richest antioxidant you can get. It kills free radical cells. Cancer is caused by free radicals. I flew to California. I got trained in how to mix these vitamin infusions and administer glutathione, started treating myself monthly, and it helped build me back up. And that's what helped me start looking into other services. And these services did such a great job with me that I wanted to share with the world. So I opened up my first medical spa 9 years ago.
So, and I mean, it takes some guts to step out on your own. You were in a secure career, but it sounds like that health journey really said it's either now or never.
That's exactly what it was. And I knew in my heart what it did for me, so I know what it can do for other people. And I'm very comfortable with stepping out 2 feet and just putting it all in. And it's been amazing since then.
So I gave my uninformed knowledge about the difference between a day spa and a Medi-Spa. If you could, explain that to folks professionally.
Definitely, definitely. So a spa is something to help you feel good. It's relaxing. You go there. They do offer some services that we do in a medical spa, but a medical spa is truly embracing beauty from the inside out. You don't only treat the outside, you also treat the inside. So we don't only offer aesthetic services, we also offer health and wellness. We draw blood work. We want to see what's going on the inside for all of our clients. So of course we make you look beautiful on the outside, but we make it long lasting because we make sure your inside is healthy. Now,
considering that you had a personal battle with cancer, are cancer patients some of your clients? Are you really you have a focus on treating some cancer patients?
Definitely. So we have cancer patients as well as chronic illnesses. I have a concerted interest in that because of my personal journey, and I know what it feels like to be in the traditional medical system, and we don't look at how you feel. They give you the medicine that usually makes you feel worse than what you did, just trying to battle this disease. So it brings down your self-esteem. You don't look good, you don't feel good. So I know the importance of giving best of both worlds. We want to make sure that we are healing you inside as well as helping you feel good while you're going through that transition. So we do functional medicine, and we do practices that are non-traditional that really help people feel good while they're treating the illnesses that they have.
And what are some of you mentioned something before, one of the really strong antioxidant that you talked about in your own treatment. That other things, what are some of the things that you are able to offer, particularly people that are dealing with an illness, that as you said, may not be traditional or may not be something your doctor prescribes for you, but really gives you that extra thing boost that you need.
Definitely. So our vitamin infusions are amazing. We mix a lot of vitamin infusions. Our glutathione, which I spoke about, which is the antioxidant of the mother of all antioxidant, kills free radical cells. Everything is caused by free radicals, aging, cancer, also natural hormone replacement. That's key for a lot of people. We all have a lot of symptoms from menopause and menopause, and they're debilitating. So we offer a natural remedy to hormone replacement, which isn't your traditional synthetic hormones that lead to other ailments, and that's been huge for our clients. We also offer ozone therapy, which is taking it back to the basics. It's healing our cells to function optimally so that our body functions the way it used to. So we have a plethora of treatments that we do on our functional medicine side that are amazing. Ozone therapy, natural hormone replacement, glutathione, IV vitamin infusions, all great for healing all types of illnesses, definitely including cancer.
And do you find that people are really open to the idea that you don't just get the healing services from a doctor's office these days? Do you think that people are more educated? A little bit. I know they don't know as much as you do, but so they're more open to when you talk to them about some of these other options. Are they more open to that?
Yes, definitely. So I've seen a big shift from when I first started until now, and I think the pandemic helped within that because people started to realize our traditional medicine is not the cure-all. Yeah. So they start looking to other things. So I have people that come in and ask for these services by name. They ask for ozone therapy. They ask for EBU. So, we definitely put the information out there for people, but we are much more well-educated. It's not just Google University that we're looking at, but, we are still, we're starting to research things because we know the ailments that we have. They're not being treated with our doctors are giving us in their office. So then we start looking for other things. And Google can be your best friend or your worst enemy, but it does educate you on things that are out there that they might not know if they never explored it.
Believe me, I've self-diagnosed myself on Google, and the doctor said, "What's wrong with you? You know better." And particularly communities of color. Because as you mentioned the pandemic, and we saw during the pandemic, those were a lot of the communities that were hit hardest by COVID, and as well as many other diseases. Is there more interest among communities of color these days for your services as well?
Definitely, and that's how I actually chose my latter two locations, which is strategically I chose Crown Heights and Harlem. Reason being because those are underserved communities that really don't have readily access to these services. So I wanted to be right in the heart of those communities so that we can educate. We educate the community. We do community events so that we know. And what I find out when minorities are educated and they have the access, they go for it. So we are helping people live healthier lives. We're living longer and we're helping them live it and enjoy it and have an increased quality of life. So that's why we chose these neighborhoods specifically.
Now you are in Long Island. Is it Melville?
Yes, we're in Melville, Long Island.
Crown Heights, Brooklyn, and now in East Harlem.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, we're 1 block from Central Park.
So all of them great locations. You practiced nursing for 2 decades. Did you anticipate when you were going to nursing school and you were in the hospital that you would ever be a small business owner?
I never did. And that's what I always tell people. I never realized that I'd be a business owner. I was always a great nurse, and I went through many areas of nursing because nursing is so diverse, but I never thought I would be an entrepreneur and a business owner. But my healthcare journey led me to this, and this is my calling, and this is where I need to be.
How satisfying is that? I mean, look, I think that when you choose nursing as a career, you are a special human being. You have stepped farther out on that limb. How satisfying and gratifying is that for you?
It's definitely satisfying and gratifying every day. I'm grateful that I was put in this position to lead me to where I needed to be. And I love what I do. And I tell people I save lives on a different level. I used to work in the ER, ICU. I save lives on a different level, and I'm changing lives. So that's my journey. That's my destiny, and I'm glad I'm here to do it.
Yeah, and honestly, it sounds just hearing you talk about your story and how you want to share what you've learned and experienced with other people to keep them from experiencing some of what you've gone through. I got to ask you a question here. that seems like it's out of the box, but I was really curious when I was reading through the material on your businesses. Talk to me about this state-of-the-art Lotus machine.
Yes, the Lotus, our Lotus flower. So it actually does 11,600 Kegel muscles for you, Kegel exercises. So you sit on a chair similar to this, and the machine does all the work in 28 minutes. So anybody suffering from any type of incontinence, anybody suffering from, you know, just need vaginal muscle tightness, it's the most amazing treatment. Now, it's not only just for women, we also can use it for men to help with prostate health. So it's an amazing chair, and it's 28 minutes. You sit there, and it does an amazing job.
And how open to people, because a lot of this is new.
Yes.
So how open are folks to trying?
Oh, they love it. When people come in, they sit down on it, they try it, they absolutely love it. Yeah, so it's an amazing treatment and service, and we love to offer it, and people love it, and they do it all the time.
For the Medi-Spa, one, I got to ask you just cost-wise, because that's a concern for a lot of people. Not necessarily specific service cost, but when you start talking about it, people want to say, you know, how much is that going to be? And is it something, are some of these services covered by insurance?
Yeah, so unfortunately, insurance doesn't cover any health and wellness services. They only cover medical treatments, and these haven't been deemed as medical treatments. So unfortunately, right now, insurance doesn't. But we have a slew of financing options that we do offer to our clients so that they're able to have these services. We also have a nonprofit that called Elite Cares that we do offer these services for vulnerable populations.
So I'm going to throw it out here. Any plans? I mean, we got a little chain going here. 3 services, 3 locations within New York City. Do you envision having more? Perhaps, you know, well, not 2 in New York City, 1 on Long Island. Are we going to see you in Jersey?
We're thinking about Jersey. We're thinking about coming over the bridge. So yes, we are looking at it. We also have makings of going to Montego Bay, Jamaica.
Okay.
So we are looking to do some services over there, and we're working on that now.
What would you say to someone who's watching this interview and they, you know, they are amazed by what you've been able to accomplish? They're impressed by your journey and what you decided to do with all of that. What would you say to them about, you know, going out on their own?
Definitely, I would say pick your goal, work towards it, know that obstacles are part of the process, and just get out there and do it. And if you put your eye on a prize, you will achieve it.
Yeah, no regrets.
No regrets.
I'm going to send folks to LeliteMedispa.com, and on that website you will find information about all 3 locations, exactly where you are, the hours of operation, and prices, right?
Definitely. So you find everything at LeliteMedispa.com, and we have a special offer for your listeners, so they can use code Here and Now and unveil that special offer. Okay,
you hear that. Here and Now. Use it. Such a pleasure to meet you. Your story is just absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
You look fantastic. I think I need to visit.
We'll welcome you whenever you're ready. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Such a pleasure meeting you, Regina.
Same here.
We'll be right back. Clean beauty. It's a growing segment of the beauty industry. It refers to products that are safe, non-toxic, and chemical-free. In fact, this segment of the black hair care market is projected to gross $4.6 billion annually by 2032. Our next guest is the CEO and founder of Camille Rose, the #1 black-owned and woman-owned textured hair care brand in the U.S. And it all started in her kitchen. It's our pleasure to welcome Janelle Stevens.
Thank you.
You have been one busy lady.
Very busy.
So it started in the kitchen.
Yes.
What set you on this path?
Back in 2011, I went on this quest for all things natural. I started having kids, and I wanted to make sure my lifestyle was all natural. And what I mean by that is the foods that we ate, the products that we use in our home, on our body, on our hair. I just wanted to make sure that I was using great ingredients for me and my family.
And so how did you know, or when did you realize these things that you were cooking up in the kitchen were not only good for you and your children,
Yes.
but perhaps for other people as well.
When they worked, yes. And it just became a passion of mine. I loved learning about ingredients, herbs, oils, butters, and the benefits it can have on the body. And so I started giving it to my friends. I started making diaper rash creams, and the next day I saw a difference. And so it was my goal back then not to sell and create a brand, but to help someone else that was struggling and in the same boat I was in, yeah.
And I understand that some of your children had some issues with eczema,
Yep.
and that really led you on the non-chemical hair care path.
Eczema and curls.
Yeah, well.
And so, yes, I was like, okay, I cannot keep using this steroid cream, right? It's working, but when I stop using it, it comes back, and that could be a problem. So again, I studied under an herbalist back then, and label reading. I label read all products that I bought out of a retail store. And I became very surprised at the ingredients that was in those organic or natural products. And so I made everything myself.
Yeah, and Camille Rose, the name.
Yes, Camille Rose. I dedicated the brand to my grandmother, and she loved roses. And so my grandmother lived until she was 99, beautiful, no wrinkles, never really went to a doctor, no real sickness. And she made everything herself. She took care of her family. If we got sick, she handled us. And so her front yard, she had a bunch of roses, and they were always in bloom. Even in the wintertime when she passed away, one rose was in bloom. And so I dedicated it to her.
Yeah, and your company has bloomed
Yes.
with the name Camille Rose. You said to me that your hair care is what kind of took off for you. In fact, how many retailers are you in? It's some big names.
We're in Target, we're in Walmart, we're in Sally Beauty, Ulta Beauty, Whole Foods, CVS, Walgreens. Yes, we're pretty much everywhere.
You surprised by folks' reaction to this, and why do you think more people on the same journey that you were on to find better products, more pure products to use?
And products that actually work. And I think that when I first started making products, it was for me and my family. So I made sure that my formulas delivered and had great, amazing ingredients, and not just a little bit of the good stuff. You know, and I think the consumer, when they purchased the Camille Rose product, they felt that, and they actually saw a difference on their hair.
Yeah. So what's your biggest seller? What's your biggest seller hair care
My
product?
signature collections, of course, my Algae Renew deep conditioners that target hair that's breaking, shedding, and thinning. Curl Love Moisture Milk is a leave-in, and Curl Maker, which is a curl definer. So my pink labels are definitely my number one.
And you have said that hair care is the thing that took off fastest.
Yes.
We are obsessed with our hair in the Black community. But you really consider what you have as a lifestyle brand.
We're more than a hairstyle, we're a lifestyle. I have a notebook full of formulas, and I started with skin.
Yeah.
But yes, hair took off, thank God. And so in the future, we'll be launching Camille Rose Beauty, which is our facial product line.
Can I ask you, what has, as a small business owner that's getting bigger and bigger, what has been the most difficult thing of being able to mass market this thing that you started in your kitchen?
Yes, I handcrafted everything. My first retail store, I was still hand making everything for that first year. So I knew nothing about getting a laboratory, a manufacturer to help me produce more of the product to meet the demand. And so I had to teach myself all of that. Truly self-taught. I had to figure out how do I get a manufacturer? Are we a great fit? And that was definitely a challenge. So I had to make sure I team up with a chemist who had the same beliefs that I did.
You know, it's a little bit off topic. There's some boycotts against some large retailers these days, you know, with political ramifications. Has that affected you much?
I think it affected the retail store. Our category is, you know, still up. Our brand is still up. But yeah.
You're hanging in there.
Oh, definitely.
riding the
Definitely.
wave.
It's very important for us to support Black-owned brands so that we can continue to grow and be able to be a resource to our community.
So tell it what's coming next.
Oh, Camille Rose Beauty. Yes, we just launched our guava collection in Target and Ulta Beauty and Sally Beauty, and that is a collection to help make wash day easier. But we are launching Camille Rose Face next year.
Okay.
Yes.
Where can folks, well, you said several retailers, but if I send them to CamilleRose.com.
CamilleRose.com. Definitely, all of our collections are there. Target, Walmart, Sally Beauty, Whole Foods, Ulta Beauty, CVS, Walgreens.
You're just
We're
about
everywhere.
everywhere.
Yes.
Before I let you go, what piece of advice would you give a future small business owner wanting to do what you have done, taking that baby from the kitchen
Absolutely.
to mass market? What would you say they need to, how do they need to go about
Stay
it?
the course, do the work, don't back down. Just stay focused on your passion.
And believe in
And
yourself.
believe in yourself. Keep working.
All right.
It'll get there.
Janelle Stevens, congratulations on all your success.
welcome.
Can't wait to see some of those beauty-based products on
Absolutely.
shelves as well. And if you're interested in Camille Rose, CamilleRose.com. We'll be right back. From model to makeup mogul, our next guest's career is a textbook example of what perseverance, tenacity, and good old-fashioned hard work can do. Glamazon Beauty is a cosmetics line created by a former model and celebrity makeup artist. She says her drive to start a business was inspired, at least in part, by frustrating experiences with makeup artists applying the wrong foundations. Joining us this afternoon, the CEO and founder of Glamazon Beauty, Emmy Baker. It is so nice to meet you.
Lovely to meet you. I feel like I know you already, though.
Well, I've been around for a while.
I've been watching you.
And several of the makeup artists in our makeup room know and use your products.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you've just such a wonderful story. How old
Thank
were you
you.
when you began modeling?
I started modeling at age 13. Initially, I was with Elite's New Faces division at age 13, and you know, I just kind of got pulled out of the market, but because my mom wanted me to finish, and Mario Van Peebles, the actor, wanted me to finish my education.
Yeah, instead of, he wanted you to wait until you were a little bit older.
Absolutely. He wanted me to mature a little bit and be focused on school.
Yeah, and you were really one of the first successful plus-size models as well.
I was one of the pioneers of the plus-size model industry. There really was no plus-size modeling until Emmy, myself, and a few other models got together and said, hey, we're tired of dieting and, you know, eating crazy. We want to just be ourselves. And, you know, most of the people in the world are 14 and up.
Yes,
so, you know,
that plus
why
is a
that not the
misnomer.
norm? Yeah.
Yeah, you're actually closer to being the norm.
Exactly.
So tell me a little bit about how you got inspired to go from having somebody else put makeup on your face to not only doing your own makeup, but creating makeup as well.
Yes, well, I fell in love with makeup while shooting for Essence. I used to shoot with a gentleman named Reggie Wells.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah, and Reggie would beat my face so beautifully, and it was always done to look natural, and I would always ask questions, and he would always say to me, Mary, are you trying to steal my job? I call everybody Mary.
Yeah.
So, are you trying to steal my job? And I told him, I said, Reggie, I think I'm falling in love with doing makeup. And it was because of the powerful transformation, and that's what I love doing on other women. I love seeing a woman going from maybe not feeling so confident to feeling beautifully empowered. Yeah.
Look, you had a period in your life, I heard you say you were sort of pulled off the market. You got into trouble because somebody else actually got in trouble. It was an old boyfriend. Talk to me a little bit about that and how, you know, that really pushed you to say, this is not going to be the end of my story.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, you know, I grew up with daddy issues. When my mom divorced my dad divorced me. So I never had a relationship with my father, and I kind of looked for that in, you know, my first relationship. I fell in love with an older man, and yeah, I just, it kind of goes to that story or that saying that your mom says, people judge you by the company you keep. I mean, he's an amazing human being, but, you know, we all fall short, and you know, unfortunately, I was pulled into a situation.
He was found guilty of essentially selling drugs, big time.
He was New Jersey's first kingpin.
Yes, and you, because you were dating him, got pulled into this.
Yes.
The judge realized you really had no part in it, and
Right.
you really felt like that was your second chance.
Absolutely.
So Glamazon, as a result of you going, I'm going to do this the right way.
Well, I was facing 65 years to life.
Okay.
So when somebody tells you, you know, you're facing 65 years, your knees kind of buckle.
I can understand that.
You know, he said that, you know, the Honorable Judge John J. Bissell, who I love saying his name because he's the man who truly gave me a second chance. He said to me, you know, he looked through my portfolio and he said, you know, I really could sentence you to this 65 years, but how does that serve society? And he told me, he made me apologize to my mother in court and make a vow to him that, you know, I would find my way out of this, and he was going to be keeping his eye on me.
Yeah.
And when he retired recently, he said I was one of the best decisions he ever made, and he's really happy with what my life turned out to be.
Yeah, it was the right decision.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you do, promise to give him a makeover?
No, I promised him I would not be back in his courtroom.
I'm kidding. I'm giving you a hard time. So, look, we know there's plenty of cosmetic brands on the market. What is it that sets yours apart?
You know, I always say my brand is not just about makeup. And if you look at my face, it doesn't look like I'm really wearing foundation.
No.
I love for skin to look like skin. And my brand comes with a movement, confidence. That's what I want from a woman. I want her to own her own beauty and know that she is enough. And so my products, my foundations truly look like skin. One of the issues I had coming up as a model was having to mix my own foundations.
Yeah.
I hated the way some would be too gray. We already know one was too
red.
red. You know which one that was. But, you know, I was like, I remember being a young girl and my grandmother putting on the red one, and which was the only one we had at the time. And I said to her, Grandma, I'm going to make makeup someday. And I was 9 years old. And my grandma said, bless your heart, what women from the South do.
Yes, we
and,
when we don't really mean it.
I was like, well, I don't think she believes me. Yeah.
And so you did.
And Glamazon was born.
Look, you obviously knew the beauty industry because you kind of grew up in it in a lot of ways, but you still had to run into some roadblocks as you tried to make this a reality. Talk to me a little bit about what was, you know, what some of those were.
Well, you know, in the world of, you know, people of color, money is always the issue. But then I always think back to the fact that no matter what obstacles my ancestors or my forefathers had, we always pushed through.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a dilemma. I'm like, if they could do what they did, I can do what I need to do. And that's exactly what I did. And I went out and I raised my own capital for my brand. And I didn't do it in a, you know, conventional way. I did it the Kim Baker way, going out and speaking to everybody I could. And it worked because I believe in the power of prayer. I believe in the power of faith, and that is what truly got me from A to, I won't say I'm at Z yet, but I'll say I'm at about F.
And in fact, we're talking cosmetics now, but your plan is really for a lifestyle brand.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
What else are you hoping to add to your line?
Clothing, shoes. So I have a daughter that's 6'2", and, you know, she has a larger foot, so she can never find Christian Louboutins or, you know, not that she needs to pay $900 to $1,200 for a pair of shoes, but she can never find, you know, like those really fashionable shoes. And I made a vow that I'm going to do that for her, and I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is the advice that you would give another small business owner, that whether it's cosmetics, any other product, that said, you know what, I think there's a market for this, I think I can do it?
Well, you know what I always say? If you are allowed to dream, it is because it is possible. I always tell people, have you ever had a dream of being a brain surgeon and performing a lobotomy? No, right? It is because you are not allowed that dream. That's not what God has for you. But if you can conceive that I want to do this and I want to do that, it is because it is a possibility. You just have to, you know, map out a plan. You know, ask for advice. You know, go get a mentor. You know, do your research. Listen, we live in the world of ChatGPT and Google. If you tell me you can't get some information right now,
you're not trying hard enough.
We got a problem. Hello.
So I'm going to send people to glamazonbeauty.com and obviously social media at Glamazon Beauty.
Yeah.
And we have to mention before you go, Glamazon Beauty, HSN as well.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Kim, thank you so much for being with us.
The pleasure's all mine.
We'll be right back. breakfast. It's often called the most important meal of the day. Well, one company's ready-to-eat solution for busy people could be a healthy solution to jump-starting your day. Spoonful. It's a Black-owned breakfast and snack food company started by a man who says his own health challenges at a very early age inspired him. Here to tell us more is the founder and CEO of Spoonful, Brooklyn's own Bradley Gifford.
Thanks
so nice to meet you.
So great to meet you.
And it's nice to see a hometown boy making good here.
Brooklyn, stand up.
So tell me, what were you were 14, is that true?
12. I was 12, yeah.
What were some of the challenges that you faced that make you start thinking, I got to look at how and what I'm eating?
Definitely. So I had eczema, was short on breath, and I was really tired a lot when I was a kid. I was pretty lethargic, but I would have energy that would kind of come and go, and those just kind of just physical ailments that I kind of naturally had. And then over time I was at the pediatrician and he said, hey, you have high blood pressure. You're gonna have hypertension before you're 30 if whatever you're doing nutrition-wise doesn't change.
And did the process start then?
I wish it did. Unfortunately, it didn't. I thought I played basketball all day and night when I did have the energy, so I felt like you could kind of out-exercise or out-activity any sort of nutrition-related things, and I was a kid, so I felt like I could worry about that later. Worry about that when I'm a big old adult, but once I became a young adult, that was really when I started to feel the negative effects of my decision-making and had to look inward, so I stopped eating processed foods, stopped drinking sugary sodas and sports drinks with a lot of additives, just had a lot of water. I ran and boxed six days a week, and just through that process, I actually lost 70 pounds. So that was really where kind of the idea for Spoonful kind of came from, but we'll get into that.
No, I think that's terrific, and it makes really good sense. A lot of people say you find if you want to have a successful product, business, what have you, there's an issue out there. You find a solution, and you lived kind of the solution. Your background is also interesting too, because you're a branding and marketing strategist. So then you had this health issue that you overcame. You sort of combined the two.
Definitely.
So you have a really good understanding not only of what's in your product, but how to get the word out about it.
Definitely. I definitely made the product for people that read the back of the label, but I know that most people really only care about the front. So I wanted to make something that looked good, that looked exciting, that looked enjoyable, that looked engaging, like a lot of the sodas or the chips or the candies, but inside was super delicious, very clean label, functional, and was just something that made you feel like you weren't taking the fun out of eating in order to do something for your health.
So what are we talking when we say Spoonful product-wise? It's not just oatmeal.
Right now it is just oatmeal. So the brand Halo is kind of high protein grab-and-go breakfast and snack foods. So right now we're starting with overnight oats. They're gluten-free, dairy-free, no artificial sweeteners, soy. We use glyphosate-free oats. There's no seed oils in our milk. And we add flax, chia. We have 14 grams of plant protein and 8 billion strains, or 8 billion CFUs, or 8 premium probiotic strains as well.
Now, a hyper-educated consumer, everything you just said, they go, oh, that's the product for me.
Check.
The rest of us are going, so
does it taste good? Does it taste good?
I hate to say it, but that's the question.
Most people think when I go down that list of saying it doesn't have this, it doesn't have that, most people will say, okay, so it doesn't have any of the things that's gonna make it taste good. So that was definitely a bit of work we had to do, but that's really where our label, our branding, our community building, our storytelling, and our just give back work, that's really where we're able to kind of meet people where they are and where we sell it and kind of make them think otherwise.
And I mean, listening to you talk, it seems like this is like the perfect moment for that, because people are starting to be aware of some of the things that you put in your body that does taste good. I really love Captain Crunch, but I know I should not be eating them. So I'm laughing.
It is good, though.
You're laughing.
It is good.
Very good.
It is very good.
But it's not good for you.
Right.
But we're starting to really, I feel like, recognize that. And a lot of people, especially when they start thinking about what they feed their children
Definitely.
forms lifelong habits.
100%.
Is that
And
something important to you?
That's exactly who we realized in our earlier days was our customer, was somebody that was getting to a point where it wasn't just a cool thing to buy the newest, healthy, kind of hot thing, but it was something that had real life implications on them, but the rest of the people in their household. So they're making decisions not only for themselves, but for their children, and kind of setting an example of what their health is going to look like over the long term.
And what are your hopes for Spoonful? As you said, we started with the oats. I know it's a snack company too, and I get that in my head, it's also sort of a food lifestyle brand.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. We want to make reliable, trustworthy content for people to use to make decisions about their health, whether that's with nutritionists or coaches or practitioners. But then we also just want to kind of innovate on longer shelf life. Right now, our product's fresh, so it doesn't have any preservatives, so it's great for our local channels, but we have dreams of being nationwide. We want to be in Costco and Whole Foods and Walmart and all the things, so we're going to have to commercialize our product a bit more, expand our shelf life a little bit, and make new products that, you know, are able to be appealing to consumers in more remote areas. So maybe it's not a fresh grab and go thing, but maybe, you know, it's a shelf stable thing that has a lot of protein, but it comes in a bar or a bite or a cookie, let's say. I don't know, but we're open to exploring, and it's a lot of fun making new products.
Look, you have perfect background for starting a brand like this, but how easy or difficult has it been to get this off the ground?
It's been tough. Oh, I mean, CPG is consumer packaged goods. It's a labor of love. I mean, it's very labor and cash intensive, so it's not for the faint of heart. But I would say it's been something that has been more science than art. You know, making batches of a dozen or 2 dozen for your friends. You can mix and match and go down to the taste, and you can go off feel. But once you're making 7,000 a month, it has to be formulaic. It has to be down to the letter. So going through that process of, you know, just making a recipe to making a formula, that's kind of been a crash course in a process of discovery that's been pretty amazing. I am a marketer. I didn't think I was a food scientist, but I think I am now. What
would you tell somebody that was going to start walking down this road, whether it was food or something along the lines, about doing it, if it, you know, how difficult or hard, or, you know, what it takes to make it happen?
Something that I love about the CPG industry that was such a pleasant surprise was how giving other founders really are. You know, because everybody is fighting the same kind of battles from an operational standpoint. We're just solving problems of different sizes and scale. So if you don't have a directly competing product, to me, I've often found that a lot of founders are happy to tell you who their partners are for this, or who they work with for distribution, or what channels are really working for them to grow and kind of expand, so that way early stage founders can kind of avoid some of those bumps in the road. So that's been the best part about this experience, and thankfully as a solo founder, I haven't been able to, you know, go at this alone, but rely on my community and then my team as well.
It honestly, you sound like the man that knows exactly how to get this going and make it a success.
After bumping my head up against a wall with a bunch of different formulations, I hope so. I hope so.
And at Grab Spoonful, their social media presence, and spoonful.life.
Spoonful.life.
And you can buy?
Yes, you can buy off the website. We're also in Fairway. We're in all the Fairways around New York. We're on Fresh Direct. We're in Gourmet Garage. And keep an eye out. We're actually launching into all of the Joe coffees around New York City as well. There's 25 of them. So just trying to make it a little easier for people to get us where they want.
That is fantastic. You got to keep us updated.
Absolutely, I will. And I'll send you some jars as well for your home supply.
All right. Thank you so much for sitting down
me.
with us this afternoon. It's a pleasure to meet you. We'll be right back. The food truck industry in the U.S. generates an estimated $2.7 billion a year. For some small business owners like Maurice Morgridge of the Bronx, rolling out his bakery business on a food truck made perfect sense.
Before Cookie Monsters, I was a New York City correction officer. I retired earlier than expected. You know, I suffered an injury on the job, and, you know, that prevented me from fully fulfilling the duty of a correction officer. And it's a permanent injury that I'm, you know, dealing with right now. even as I'm working and as I'm baking, you know, it's still something that I'm dealing with, but, you know, it's not stopping me from the passion. So the name of the company is Cookie Monsters, as you see on the sweatshirt. We changed the cookie, the C in cookie to a Q, and the U in monster from a no. So we did that because we want to differentiate ourselves from the Cookie Monsters from Sesame Street. I'm in the beginning stages. Of course, you know, it takes a lot more, but I mean, I'm just happy that I started. I think there's more to come. We've done some nice collaborations with different companies, like we've done Nike tournaments, we've done Foot Locker, Silver Cup Studios, and we've you know, familiarized ourselves with Clearview festivals, which is one of the street fairs that we do all around the city. I just had a passion from my early childhood. I'd say when I was a teenager, just playing video games. I remember there was like Otis Spunkmeyer cookies, and it was fresh baked on the spot. And you know, I tried one of them, and it was just like an instant, like, you know, this is what I want to do. Since my early childhood with my mom, you know, she's of West Indian culture, so we made a lot of different desserts, different cakes, different types of stuff. And you know, I always try to like make her cakes into cookies. So that's where the cookie stuff started. In Jamaica, we have like an Easter bun. So I did a cookie in correlation to the Easter bun. Also like a rum cake. I've done rum cake cookies as well. So, you know, those are like just little samples of course, the ginger snaps and things like that. So those are like beginning types of desserts that we would make. Chocolate chip cookies are very popular. We've done a lot of street fairs this past summer, and that was the cookie that everyone kept coming back for, and you know, they really crave it. It's my flour mixed with the other stuff that makes my chocolate chip cookies so different. Everything is pre-measured already. So I have my cocoa, of course, and I have my flour mixture. So, and other seasonings and spices to make that chocolate chip cookie unique. The food truck we started in 2022. It was because the pandemic happened, and you know, we saw the way brick and mortars was just going down at that point, and you know, we wanted to actually be more in touch with people, and that is where the cookie truck idea came from. When that pandemic happened, we saw a lot of like delis, bakeries, a lot of places that we would normally go to shut down. So we was looking at the trend of that, and we said, you know, let's try to do something different. So we started at pop-up shops, and you know, doing that all over the city, and then we ventured off and said, hey, you know what? Why not do a cookie truck? So we can do like a mobile pop-up. I advertise on social media a lot. I'm on Instagram, so you can find me, Cookie Monsters, on Instagram, also Facebook. Just one of those things that I needed to follow. I wanted to follow my mind, my heart, and do something that I always thought about, but always wanted to do. You want a cookie, you want a classic traditional cookie without the extra, you know, fillings and words that you can't spell. You just want a simple cookie, and some people want that, and that's what we had. I just love cookies, you know, and I just feel like you do what you love, and that's, you know, one thing I always followed. Like if something, you know, resonates with you, is something that you love to do, do it.
Sandra Bookman and Here and Now will be right back.
This afternoon, we have heard from several entrepreneurs who have turned their big ideas into successful businesses. But for many, starting a company can be daunting. Our next guest says she's in the business to help you craft that fresh idea into a powerful strategy. Here to tell us more is the founder of Idea Manufacturer, Regina. Did I say it right?
You did.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. It's so nice to see you again.
Thank you, and thank you for having me back.
Well, we thought it was important to sort of get a broader perspective on, what it means to be a small business owner and really what it means to get started. When you look at the state of the economy today, and I am afraid to see where the stock market is sitting, you can understand why somebody that thinks they have the idea is like, is this the time? Can I do it now? What should I be doing? What would you suggest to anyone right now, given what's going on in the world? We're talking about the tariffs, we're talking about the stock market being a real roller coaster. What would you say to them about possibly starting a business now? Do I wait? Do I go? What do I do?
At any time anyone wants to start a business, the first thing I say is take a personal assessment before even thinking about putting the first word on your business plan. That personal assessment will save you so much time and money and keep you from falling apart, so to speak. We actually have an assessment on our website right now that helps. It's fun, it scores, but it lets you know, are you really ready to dive into entrepreneurship? Given today's narrative, it's even more important. But at any given time, if you're ready, there's a checklist of items to go over. And one is, first, that personal assessment. The next is to write a business plan. Identify what you're bringing to market and is there a need for it. The best businesses fill a void. There's necessity is the mother of all inventions. Very important.
And one of the things, just reading about small businesses, Black women are opening them. Really, they're doing more when it comes to small business than just about any other group. Why are the two things, small businesses and Black women, it's such a team? Why are we seeing that?
I think Black women are leading the way in entrepreneurship for a number of factors. One, the corporate world is not so kind. They're sick of the microaggressions. They know that they have talent and a skill set, and they can do it for themselves. I think that's one of the leading things that's driving Black women toward entrepreneurship. The other, for a lot of folks, including Black women, is that we are often sold on the narrative, go to college, get a great job, and it's just not satisfactory. It doesn't bring satisfaction anymore. Tuning into our own resiliency is really important in identifying what's the next thing that's going to make me happy, and entrepreneurship just might be that thing, and I think that also adds to why Black women are leading the way.
And if there are people, and not just women, out there thinking about starting that business, taking that big step, talk to me about some of the common pitfalls that you can avoid right off the bat if you just do the right thing or take it slow and steady.
That business plan.
You are big on the business plan.
I am big on the business plan. Far too often, I have clients that come to me after they've started a business, after they've lost a lot of money, because they didn't have a strategy in place. And it doesn't have to be the size of War and Peace. It can be a lean model business plan, but nevertheless, there should be a plan of action that one can follow. And not just you, but when you start a business, I hope you're hoping to scale. That business plan lays the foundation for your employees that will onboard later. So yes, I am big on the business plan.
And if you need to seek financing, you have to have a business plan, don't you?
You most definitely have to have a business plan, not just for financing, but if you are going to be in brick and mortar, you need a business plan. For the landlord will want to see a business plan. Something else that I think is also important is sharing your dreams with your circle. I don't advise anyone just jump into entrepreneurship before they make sure that they have a solid foundation under their feet.
And by foundation, what are we talking about? Support, monetary, what do you think gives them that solid foundation?
Friends and family, and not just monetarily, but with hands-on support. women are leading the way, Black women are leading the way, there may be childcare issues. As women, we don't get excused from being the cook, the baker, and the candlestick maker just because we own a small business. So it's really important to have those friends and family around you to buoy your success.
And one last thing, starting a business, you said you're meeting a need. Sometimes, though, it is just a hobby and not a possible business. How do you tell the difference?
People can take a hobby and turn it into a business. I throw up a flag of caution about that. If your hobby is something that brings you joy, if it creates peace in your personal space, it's probably not the way you should start it. It's probably not a business for you because you will have eliminated what brings you joy.
Okay. All right. If folks want to reach out to you, get some of this expertise, and I really think that checklist you have is important, we can send them to ideamanufacturer.com.
Absolutely.
All right. Gina Ramcharan. Am I saying it right?
Correct.
Okay. I don't know why I've got this thing about names today. I want to make sure we put it out there right. Thank you. You were always so kind about sharing your time and your expertise with us, and we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on Here and Now. If you missed any portion of today's show, you can watch at abc7ny.com/hereandnow or listen to our podcast wherever you subscribe. If you'd like to comment or share your story, email us at hereandnow@wabc.com or follow us on Facebook and Instagram. I'm Sandra Bookman. Enjoy the rest of your day.